Is this one of the sexiest VWs ever built? The all-new Volkswagen Areon R? We'll also find out, how racy is it? Let's go with the front, and here you can see the typical Areon face, this rather friendly face I have to say, but again in the R here, stronger accentuations, especially here with the air intakes, and you also have this light strip goes all the way across the vehicle in the front already. This has been brought with the Areon facelift, and the R also catches it here with the new Volkswagen R logo. And also characteristically for the Areon is this additional design element that makes the hood visually go lower down. So what do you think from design in the front already?
And the headlamps, LED standard, also with an adaptive function, but no matrix LED. And here, when you use the turning indicators or the hazard lights, also quite interesting how that light structure then appears.
Hey, we got no matrix LED, but at least already in the rear we have the cascading turning indicators. Ooh, yeah, it's what you can say here with the side profile. 4.86 meters or 191 inches is the length, so also substantial wheelbase. Wheels from 18 to 20 inch. These are the maximum 20 inch wheels here in a nice dual tone scheme, black on the inside, silver on the outside, and the contrasting blue brake calipers, another R logo at the side, and contrasting mirror caps. I think beautiful design work. Look at that central line here with a sedan and super strong shoulders. And there's also the Areon R shooting brake, this estate styling. This will also be available then for the most powerful version here, and both will profit from the new technology that you have a torque splitter in the rear. So front wheel driven platform, front plus rear than the all-wheel drive, and in the rear axle, you can split the torque, send more torque to the outside wheel each to get you better out of the corner. And the adaptive suspension, the DCC, is also standard here for the Areon R. It will also adapt then to the driving modes. So what do you think here with the side profile? Isn't that really a great design? I think both works very well for the sedan, now called GT or Gran Turismo, and for the shooting brake. Well, honestly, as Volkswagen launched the Areon facelift with the shooting brake as well, and then said, how can we name the non-shooting brake, not sedan, but GT or Gran Turismo? I was like, Areon, Gran Turismo, Volkswagen Gran Turismo, like really? But looking here especially at the R version and also that styling, I think you can very well say that because it really looks like a well-designed GT. What's your take on that? R logo underneath the Volkswagen logo, then a beautiful tail lamp design as well with this dot structure, and a special exhaust, rear exhaust pipe for the Areon R. However, a Krapovic exhaust not available yet. Yeah, that would have been another interesting feature for sure. I wonder why they didn't offer that. I mean, it's a pricey car already. They could have gone for that very expensive option. The Golf R, for example, also offers that. Under the hood we have two gas struts to open it up, really cool. Then the 2-liter TSI, turbo petrol engine, 4 cylinders, and 320 horsepower right here. Front wheel drive plus rear wheel drive, so it's an all-wheel drive with a Haldex clutch, and then also this new torque splitter at the rear. We'll experience that in the driving part. In 4.9 seconds is the acceleration figure to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. We'll find out. Rather unspectacular key fob, but I really prefer this one in contrast to the new ones that have this high gloss black and collect, scratches and so on. So I'm fine with this then. Frameless doors, really cool, but already a nice door closing sound. We rarely have that. And interior, also good build quality here with somewhat soft touch here at the inside. Harman Kardon sound system, that is a really great choice. I can soon also demonstrate that. And then we have the interior with the steering wheel that is special to the Areon R, and also to the new Tiguan R and the Golf R. Here with the R button, and with that one we can easily access this R racing mode. Digital instruments left side, right side infotainment in 2 sizes available, soon more to that. The seats would usually start with a nice Alcantara seat. This is the optional animal skin package. Of course you have less climate comfort then, and it's also not that supporting the animals, so leave it with the Alcantara seat. You also get nice R stitching. The seat form, however, is the same. You have this shoulder support and it looks quite fancy. What you can see here, the insert of the glass in the front, dual layer. This also brings massive noise insulation. Getting inside here in the Arteon GT, the Gran Turismo. Yeah, it's good seating position also for tall people, and if you put the ignition on and also close the door, then the seat moves forward here like this. But then we have beep, beep, beep. Oh, this is so annoying, this beeping sound. You can see when I turn off the ignition, then the seat goes back again. So this is a nice comfort entry function. So now I move it to the front manually like this, and the steering wheel can be adjusted in, out, up, down really nicely. Also very wide actually. So a good seating position here, very comfortable also in the seat. Again, a little bit more comfort if you stick with the base Alcantara setup. And headroom wise, well, it comes close with 1.86 or 6.1, but still enough left. And there's also this optional panoramic roof. You can close it with a manual shade. I think that's totally fine. And also still a real button to open it then completely. What I find annoying are these capacitive buttons at the steering wheel. Left side cruise control, right side inductive control, the digital instruments. And I mean, it's not too hard, but at the same time, it's harder than using real buttons, especially while driving. So not a good development. Are you a fan of digital instruments, by the way? Tell me in the comments, or if you prefer the analog ones. These here actually, I think, are quite cool. You can have different views here, once again, either clear view or like this with some different information right here, or like this. You can click it through. And it's also possible to put in the GPS then all over the screen. The head-up display is on the one hand good to have. It's a nice option because you can have the speed in line of sight, but then it is this separate plexiglass layer, and for a car at that price then, that's not enough. You need to have a proper head-up display unit, I think. Or what's your take on that? The shifting pedals are quite fancy, by the way. Right side to shift up, left side shift down, and if you press and hold this left one, then it goes down multiple gears. So that's a cool racy effect. Since the Arteon facelift, they got rid of the analog clock. And yeah, I mean, some miss it and some appreciate the cleaner design. What about you? The infotainment system, it starts with the Discover Media in 8-inch, and this is the Discover Pro optional in 9.2-inch. Disadvantage, you do not have any knobs left, so usually you would have volume knob on the left with the base one and this zoom mode on the right, but here then totally knobless. I think it looks cleaner, but not actually better to control. And also here in the lower part, this climate unit, I mean, for a capacitive solution, it's still somewhat okay. But yet again, less knobs don't mean that it's better to use. Then DSG, dual clutch transmission, shifting lever. You can also go through driving modes, but with the Arteon R, you can also use this R button to switch through that. And then we have adaptive cup holders right here. You can also close that like this. And then this armrest here, well attached and leatherette covered like this. And then 2 USB-C chargers, but you can also use Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless. So what about this Harman Kardon sound system? Let's put on a calm song. Yeah, sorry, I had to go for this one. Surprise, surprise. There's a very good subwoofer in here, so I really like the sound. And the subwoofer doesn't sound cheap. It really sounds very rich from the bass. And then you can go back to the Volkswagen menu like here. You have a separate home menu, you have the GPS, but the software is kind of slow, so that usually takes a while. These newer software systems here by the VW group, yeah, I mean, the menu structure is easy, but again, it needs to be faster. And but here in the Arteon is actually rather the better one. And here with the vehicle controls, I'll also activate these while driving, performance monitor with G-meter and so on. And cool is also in the DCC setup here, the suspension will change, and you can also go to this race mode that makes everything sportier, individual. There you can see what is actually being changed. Here, steering characteristic, engine sound, for example. There's an actuator, and you can have it either as race, more actuating in the interior, or pure, so you only hear the exhaust note and so on. So you can play around with that. And in the DCC, by the way, what's also interesting here, there we go, you can not only have like different presets, like 3 or something, you can really fine-tune that with every single dot, make it more comfortable or even stiffer. So yeah, that's a really good choice you have.
Oh, and in the very front you have an inductive charging mat, but when you slide this one open you have to squeeze your phone in like this, and not sure if you will ever get it out again.
Now let's get inside. In the rear, this is special about the Arteon. Here, a lot of legroom. This is really cool, and I mean, it's a sporty sedan and you already have a lot of legroom, and also nice soft touch at the inside of the doors in the rear. Yeah, we hardly see that nowadays, but of course at this price point that's also really necessary. Then here with a carbon fiber fabric kind of style insert at the inside of the doors, that's also quite cute. And yeah, nice seating position here, also enough headroom, and ISOFIX at the outside of the seats, very comfortable once again. And you can fold down these cup holders, not adaptive though. There's a ski hatch available, but here in the middle part there's a middle tunnel, and yeah, still okay because of the legroom, but it's a little bit stiffer, this middle area. And you also have temperature control, seat heating for the rear, and then also a real power socket. 560 up to 1550 liters. So the liter figure is not that much different if you have the shooting brake, because it's always measured below the cover here, and the shooting brake is just a little bit higher than right here. And both are very versatile to use here. That's the width of a mirror or 40 inches, a little bit more here, a little bit less on the inside here, but so well usable, this trunk already. And the length here is 46 inches or 116 centimeters, also pretty massive. And even here in the GT, the height here under the cover is 21 inches or 52 centimeters. So one of the best usable trunks in this style of the vehicle, pretty massive. And look at that, a cabin trolley almost looks lost in this luggage compartment. And when everything is folded flat to my driving position, 2 meters or 78 inches, perfect. You can see once again how huge this opening is also, and why we do not necessarily need the estate form. Already here the GT does very well to load things in and out, and also here good update for the sensitivity, no problem at all with the child safety test. The shooting brake here is 20 liters to 120 liters more capacity than the GT. Here flipping the logo, then you open the hatch and then you have a little bit more space in height especially. Oh, this is a Arteon bag, just a sample bag right here, so it's a very practical trunk. There is a loading sill here because they decided they want to offer more height instead of an even loading sill. That depends on if you put a floor cover in there. In this case, they just want to offer more height. Welcome to Thomas's active driving lounge with the Arteon R. So, and cool features we have here, sporty features. We have the R button at the steering wheel, and one single click goes through different driving modes, but a hard click, a little bit longer, directly goes to the race mode. Ooh, and that is the one we are searching for. And we'll let these cars pass, so you shall pass. Because then we can safely enter the motorway, starting with 30 kilometers an hour. Let's go! That's 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour. We could go further to 250, or with a special pack to 270, that's possible. But look at that, DCC on a stiffer note. You can surprise your passengers by that. Woo! That's cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, definitely. So it feels so stable on the road, great chassis work, super stiff and stable. The steering here is very precise, not overreacting, really cool. And the acceleration was also quite good. 4.9 seconds is the official figure, and really good finely tuning on the brakes. Yeah, I really like that. Really cool stuff. And you've maybe also realized I was driving super fast, and NVH, so noise really low, good noise insulation, especially against the wind noises, and also a quite aerodynamic vehicle. That's really fancy stuff. So indeed, it holds driving-wise what it promises from the outside. But of course, this is here first the Autobahn part, German motorway. We'll also do the agile driving fun up the hill, and then we'll see more about this rear torque splitter, which is also crucial for this vehicle. Now, the tunnel. And first of all, you can see the ambient lighting right here. Why is it off now? Maybe it's because of the racing mode. Yeah, there it is now. So, see the inside there, there's the blue line, that's really nice. Once again, no, I think it took a while till the light sensor really picked it up. And interesting here, first of all, I have a function where I hold the left shifting pedal, and even if I'm like in the 5th gear now, and I hold the left pedal, it goes back to the lowest gear. Let's see. See it directly to 1st gear. Really cool feature that as well. And sound-wise, yeah, quite nice. However, there's also another function of the DCC here in this DCC selection, because this car does work with the sound actuator, but you can turn it off. So here's engine sound. You can set it to race in the individual mode, and let's just listen to it again. I mean, it's a little bit boosted on the interior, and then I can put the engine sound to pure. Did you hear a difference? I'm not sure. So maybe a little bit, not too much though. So I think what is being done here by the sound actuator, a little bit more low frequency sound here when we have it on race, this engine sound. So that would be the main difference, but not a crucial difference, I would say. Yeah. I mean, the exhaust note is not too exaggerated, but no, definitely interesting so far. There you can see the blind spot monitor, by the way, here, once again in a tunnel, and if I hit the turning indicator, that also flashing effect, so it's an additional safety measure. And we'll do one more acceleration, and I'm in 5th gear at the moment, although we are in the R mode, and then I hold the left pedal, and then we have this gear hopping back effect again, and see how we accelerate when we're already at speed with this special effect. That will be quite interesting. Just hope we won't get blocked now by the next vehicle. So there we go. And let's try that again. Let's put it in a higher gear. Wasn't to my liking. So when we're in the 7th gear now, and then I hold once again. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, at first I didn't think it was like in the right gear we went in, because I was expecting 2nd gear, but it was 3rd gear. Maybe there's like a threshold of that, you know. Maybe when we're a little bit slower, let's see. When we're like at, yeah, we can, let's drop back at about below 80 kilometers an hour. Maybe it goes to 2nd gear then. Let's see. Yes. Here we go. That sounds better when we're starting in 2nd gear, definitely, right? And once again, when we're at high speeds here, still acceleration coming, and once again, super stable and stiff on the road, and I really like the steering feeling and also the smile on the face of the passengers. Yeah, that's what this car is definitely for, and you won't miss any other performance vehicle with this one here. So it's not only one of the sexiest vehicles that VW has ever built, it's also really sexy while driving, I can tell you. And yeah, that's for the performance part, but what's also working well is the travel assist. You can activate it here at the steering wheel. Here we go. Lower part. Yeah, sometimes a little bit confusing. There we go. Travel assist, and this would then be, it says also bend ahead, so it's connecting with the GPS data, and traffic sign recognition is in there too. And travel assist keeps the distance to the car in front of you and also is keeping the lane. Once again, in the corner, that's of course cool with the torque splitter, but more of that to come soon. So first of all, now the travel assist, set it here to, with the capacitive buttons here at the steering wheel, that's so annoying always. Now I got it, yeah. And you always look at it, and it's not really intuitive to control it. Here now, keeping also the lane in the race mode, but in the race mode it's reacting later. So when I set it now back to the comfort mode again, here we go, and then have the travel assist, it's reacting a little bit earlier. That's of course also generally a good thing. And you see here how the lane is being kept is actually quite smooth, especially now in the comfort mode. And when it's kind of comfort mode, the DCC is softer, so not that racy, not that sporty. And also the shifting now 7th gear at 70 kilometers an hour. It's got really high gear, then more for fuel saving and so on. Consumption about 10 liters per 1 kilometers if you also use the power at some point. So 23 mpg UK, 23 mpg US, 28 mpg UK. Overall the car delivers everything basically. You have long-term service, you have a lot of space in the trunk and so on, and you have this really sporty, racy feature. And now I really want to experience the torque splitter, because in the rear then we can send also more power to the outside wheel, so that cornering is even more fun. Let's see how that one turns out, even if the car feels actually smaller than it actually is. What about the tunnel here? Sound check. Not bad. And now we're driving up the hill, famous Autogefuel peak. And it is somewhat still a front-wheel biased all-wheel drive here, but with this torque splitter we've experienced all with the VW Tiguan R. The good thing is really that we now can send more power at the rear outside wheel, and that really helps when accelerating out of the corners. Yeah, I mean, it's not that this car will have a rear wheel appearance by that, but it makes it less front wheel biased, and that's definitely cool. However, I feel due to the long wheelbase of the vehicle that the effect is not that strong as we would feel in the Golf R. The Golf R really almost felt rear wheel biased all-wheel drive alike. Here it's not quite the case. Once again, I think it's because of the longer wheelbase, and yeah, the Golf R maybe also has a little bit sportier setup here. Yeah, that's great. That's really nice. I mean, we had the strong engine version of the Arteon so far, the normal petrol. This one here definitely something else. Once again, very controlled feeling of that vehicle. All right, coming second gear. Yeah, out of the corner, that's really nice. And now I go to first gear and hairpin corner, and really, yeah, that's actually quite nice. So again, the rear doesn't come around, not that strong, but definitely I feel less front wheel bias, and that's really cool. So this torque splitter there, great development by Volkswagen R. So the Golf R profits from it, the Tiguan R, and now here also the Arteon R. Nicely done. Even when the effect here on the Arteon R, I think it's not that extreme, but still definitely more fun to drive. And now to our conclusion for today with the all-new Volkswagen Arteon R. Design-wise, definitely a highlight, looks really spectacular, and I really think it's one of the sexiest Volkswagen that has ever been built. No matter here in the GT version or in the shooting brake version. And I really like design-wise this GT version, the Gran Turismo, because it delivers you this elegant sedan style, yet at the same time you already have this hatch opening, this fastback style, where you can easily load things in and out. So very well usable, this vehicle. A lot of space in the rear, a lot of space in the trunk. That's what's making it so special. You also can get a nice Alcantara seats on the interior, and also a clean interior design. Not so good with the capacitive buttons at the steering wheel, and also the infotainment system software-wise. We know that all the Volkswagen Group vehicles at the moment have a little bit problems with that. It's not too bad, but also definitely not good at the moment. And a proper head-up display at this price point, where we start over 60,000 euros. Here, for example, with the German price point for this vehicle, should not have a plexiglass head-up display here, but a real one that is projected into the windscreen. So, really fun also in driving with this new torque splitter that makes it less front wheel biased. That's important, and great performance also from this engine. However, if you keep it in a normal efficient driving mode and so on, so don't go for this sporty mode, then it rather feels a little bit lazy. But that's also then for a better fuel economy. In the R mode, you can always select it really fastly, and then you can also let it all out here with the Alte R. So overall, a very spectacular car, one of the most desirable cars that VW is offering, and is really thinking about this could be a cheaper alternative to a performance vehicle in the higher segment from Audi, BMW and Mercedes. For example, if you really like an Audi S7 or something, but that's just too expensive for you, then maybe this could be a good compromise. Or what do you think? Join us in the comments with our discussion. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Also tune in next time.